Hey Clarence, it's James again. I'm back and I wanted to hit some more questions that you guys have been sending in. And once again, thanks a lot for everything you students are doing. It's just amazing, the passion for wanting to help students in Uganda have clean water and really help to put an end to walking for water for kids in Uganda. So thanks a lot. Keep it up. Push yourselves. We would be giving away a lot of those bracelets and t-shirts, and someone's going to take home that machete, and maybe it's you. So let's go. The questions that you guys have here, I'll read them off. Amelia A said, besides water, what other things do the villages not have? What kind of challenges do they face? Well, oftentimes there's no electricity. The roads into many of these communities are not paved, so they're dirt roads. So in the rainy season, they're just big mud paths. You can't drive on them or you get stuck. There's a lot of things like that. They certainly don't have internet and some of the conveniences that we're used to. But I think it's easy to go into those places and realize all the things they don't have. But one of the things that's important to know that they do have is they have close relationship with one another. They're part of one another's lives. They know their neighbors' names, and they help one another with work and with big celebrations and things like that. They're in each other's daily lives, and so community and that sense of warmth and hospitality is something that they have, regardless of whether they might not have shoes, or they might not have many clothes to wear. They might not have 3 meals a day, but they do have some really great things that are still making life worth living. So appreciate the question. Next, how did you start this organization? That was from Andy L. And Andy, if you take a look, there's some, I know at our assembly, I touched on it a little bit. I met a man from Uganda who came to the United States for a conference, and we met at a barbecue. And I talked to him, and my heart was captivated by hearing how many ways in which our lives were the same, and then some of the ways that they were really different. And in particular, that my kids had the freedom to go to school and play soccer and have friends over and, play and watch TV, whereas his kids really had a lot of work that they had to do as a regular part of life. And so, excuse me. And so out of that, I just kind of dug into it and realized, hey, these people need help, and I think we can do something. So we started raising money, and that's how it began. Next question. In Uganda, have you ever walked with the people to the water sources? How far do they walk? And this is from Mia or Maya K. Yes, absolutely. We feel like it's important to understand the whole problem and to be in relationship with the people we serve. And oftentimes they're walking 1 to 2 miles each way. So it's a long journey, and it takes a lot of work, and your muscles are burning from carrying the heavy jugs. It's far and it's hard. Next one is, this doesn't say who it's from, but how many people does it take to put a rainwater system in place, and how long does it take to get it up and running? I talked about how long it takes in the last video, but our team is about 5 or 6 people, and so we usually have 3 masons that are doing brick work on the base and on the tap stand. We have a gutter man who is working with all the gutters and the downspouts, and we have a plumber who's working with all the pipes and the fittings and things that connect. But they all help one another, and then we also have a foreman who helps support all of them and encourages them and keeps them on task and lends a hand, and also collects data, takes pictures, does surveys. So about 5 or 6 people usually. What do we eat in Uganda? We eat all kinds of things: rice and beans and matoke, which is like a green banana, sort of like a plantain. They don't eat a lot of meat. They eat maybe once a week or once every other week. They might have a little bit of meat, and they'll put it into a sauce with vegetables, almost like a stew to put over rice. But there's some great things there, like chapati, which is this round flat bread, sort of like a thick tortilla, and that's delicious. They have amazing fruit because it's in the tropics, so like mango and pineapple, avocado. So you can eat really well, even though a lot of the food is very simple. And lastly, are people from villages without rainwater tanks able to come to villages with rainwater tanks to share water? And so basically it just depends on how far people are away from one another. Generally, when we install a rainwater tank, we talk with the school about how will you use this, and we encourage them to share with the community around them when they can. Now, sometimes schools are very large and they need the water desperately, and so they during school times they have to really say, "I'm sorry, everyone, we really have to save this water for our students." But then we encourage them to make a plan so that during holidays, and even sometimes on weekends, they can share with the community surrounding the school. So that's, we recognize we have to trust the community to figure this out themselves. We encourage them with guidelines and recommendations for how to make a plan for sharing water and impacting the most people. So we're looking for people who understand and aren't trying to be selfish, but are trying to do the best they can for the people that they're serving. These are great questions. You guys are awesome. I remember the time we had together in the auditorium. Sean had such a great time with you at the water walk, and I'm hearing so much about the money you're raising and about the stories you're telling. Keep it up. We love working with you, Clarence. We'll talk to you again soon.